Hi guys, it's Izzy and welcome back to the channel. Here we are again. I'm sitting up, wow, look at me go. I've got a BT21 dress on, so we're looking cute. Let's just ignore my hair, like it's a lost cause. Okay, I'm getting a haircut soon. But yes, we're back. Wow, 2 videos in a row. We're on a roll. But I am here today to do a video for the release of Monstrous Design by Kat Dunn. This is the second book in the Battalion of the Dead series and is the sequel to one of my favourite books, Dangerous Remedy. Wow, I've even got props. Look at me go, I'm a professional. Zephyr Books very kindly sent me a arc of Monstrous Design after I begged them to because I love this series so much. I was like, please, I would just want to read it. And they very kindly sent me an arc, so I have my signed copy of the first book and an arc of the second book, and this is releasing on June 2nd, which I hope is when you're seeing this video. If all goes to plan, you're seeing this in June, because I am organised. But in today's video, I'm going to tell you why you should read these books, Dangerous Remedy and Monstrous Design. This series, this god tier series, which I think everyone should read. Like everyone, that's my main goal in life, is just to force everyone to read these books. You're welcome. So I'm going to tell you what these books are about if you haven't heard me talk about them 15 million times already on this channel, and then I'm going to tell you 5 reasons why you should read this series. Really, just trust me because I'm always right, but in case you need more convincing, I will give you 5 reasons why you should read this. So, Monstrous Design, what's it about? Well, that would be kind of giving Dangerous Remedy spoilers. So I'm gonna tell you what Dangerous Remedy is about and kind of what Monstrous Design is about. So Dangerous Remedy follows 4 characters and it is set in the Revolutionary War in France, so in the 1800s, or is it the 1700s? I didn't go to history class, don't ask me. And we follow 4 characters, Camille, Ada, Gil and Al, who are the Battalion of the Dead. That's their name because they're really cool. I would tell you the French version, but I don't speak French. And they have set up this thing where they jailbreak people from either side of the revolution. They get paid to break people out of prison, and that's what they do. So they get asked to go on a job, they go along on their merry way thinking it's just a normal jailbreak situation. They get to the person they're jailbreaking and they find out it is a young girl called Olympe who has magical electrical powers and basically is strong enough to change the outcome of the Revolutionary War. And then both sides of the revolution want her, the Battalion of the Dead want to keep her safe, and how do they do that when basically the whole of France is after them? Well, you will have to read to find out. It is dramatic. And then we follow on in Monstrous Design after the events of Dangerous Remedy, which I will try not to spoil. The Battalion of the Dead have split up. Half of them are in Paris still, and half of them are off to England to save someone who I will not tell you who, because that would spoil what happens at the end of Dangerous Remedy. But basically it's about revolution, it's historical fiction, it's fantasy, it's about what makes us monsters, and like, it's just got everything, as I'm about to tell you. If that isn't enough to sell you, like, I'm gonna give you 5 reasons, so let's get started with that. First of all, setting. atmosphere, whatever you want to call it. This is god tier setting. Like, I think Kat Dunn may be a vampire because how she knows so much about revolutionary Paris and how much detail she gives is just insane. Like I think she may have been alive during the revolution because I felt like I was there. Like, there's so much detail, the atmosphere is so rich, the setting is just so like, yeah, I just felt like I was there. I felt like I was alive in revolutionary Paris. And then, as I said, sort of half of the book, half of Monstrous Design is set in England, so we get Paris and England in Monstrous Design, and we get to see kind of the real like luxury side of England in the 18th century, and we also get to see kind of the rougher side of Paris during the Revolutionary War and the poverty that existed then, and it's kind of juxtapositioned with the luxury and opulence of England because they were very rich. So it's such a cool setting. It's written so well. I didn't know anything about the revolutionary time in Paris before reading Dangerous Remedy and then subsequently Monstrous Design. So if you're like, I'm going to be confused because I don't know anything about the French Revolution, don't worry, you'll be fine. Kat Dunn holds your hand. She tells you everything you need to know, and as well as being a great time and a fabulous adventure, it's also very educational, and I learned a lot about the French Revolution, and I actually would love to know more, and I would pick up more books set during that time because it's very interesting. But yeah, I don't know how Kat Dunn manages to make me feel like I was alive in England and Paris in the 1800s, but somehow she does. And you know what? Round of applause to her. Number 2, characters. I don't know if I'm putting it up on screen, so I don't know if I'm if I'm doing hand gestures like I'm going to put it up on screen and then I just don't. Characters. We have 4/5 main characters. Olympe, the girl they rescue with the electrical magical powers, becomes kind of the main character, and there's, I guess, kind of a 6th main character, James. But anyway, we have a lot of characters, we have a lot of diversity. Camille and Ada, our 2 main protagonists, have a on again, off again romance, which is just chef's kiss. Like, the female-female romance is so good, and there's also like a bi-love triangle which happens, and it's very dramatic. Like, Camille's dating Ada, but then an ex-fiance from her past comes back in, and Ada's like, who's this dude? And Camille's like, who do I choose, Ada or James? Like, it's, I don't usually like love triangles, and obviously I'm rooting for the female-female romance. I mean, we know me, we know my brand, like, what do we expect from me? But it's a well-written love triangle, I promise, and to be honest, we stand by love triangles, so that's cool. Sorry, I got sidetracked by the romance, but the romance, the yearning, the pining, the drama, the angst, it's just got so much. It just gives us so much, and it's just, like, in the 2nd book, in Monstrous Design, the angst is just so, they're kind of separated for quite a lot of the book, which I was like, damn it, I need more romance. But like, it has so much potential for the 3rd book. Like, the romance itself is enough to read this book, like, I swear to you. Read it for the sapphic romance and the bi-love triangle and you will not be disappointed. But the characters are great. Camille is such a badass bitch, like, she's such a cool female protagonist. Ada is so clever, she's so into science, which obviously was not an easy thing to be into as a woman in the late 1700s, early 1800s, and I really love how much it focuses on Ada's love for education and love for learning and science and maths and all that kind of stuff, but also how difficult it was to be interested in that kind of stuff as a woman. But Camille is such, she's just so cool. Like, she's so cool because she just has like no fear, and like she always knows what to do, she always has a plan, she's like the Kaz Brecker of the situation, you know what I mean? um and, and she's just like one of my favourite characters, her and Ada both. But then we've got Al, who's like a broody, like, we don't really understand him, he's kind of mysterious, he's got a rough past, you know, it's great. We've got Gil, who we don't see as much in the first book, but I feel like we get a lot of in the second book, and he is like an ex-soldier. He's like a strong but silent type. Like, we've really got every kind of personality within the group. And then we've got Olymp, who's struggling to find her way, and like struggling to find herself as her own person, and not as this like science experiment and prisoner that she's been for her whole young life. And just the character dynamics make this series so strong and so like three-dimensional in my eyes. Like, it made it really come alive for me. Was we've got these 5-6 characters, and each of them have such different relationships with each other, whether it's friendship or romantic, but whether they kind of hate each other but love each other, or they really love each other and get on really well. Like, it's a very found family dynamic. I would go to say that this has the found family trope within it, and I think it's done so brilliantly, and I just love like every interaction between the Battalion of the Dead, because like every interaction like provides something new and interesting, and they're funny and they're witty, and they love each other but they argue, and yeah, it's just, I just love it so much. Do we get that I love this? Is that clear enough? Sorry if the angle changed very slightly. My SD card ran out of space, but it's fine, we're back. So yeah, found family, interesting characters, great dynamics, friendship, romance. Do I have to sell it to you anymore? Oops, I was about to undo my notes. That would have been great. Okay, up next, 3. Plot. Almost did that again. Okay. Plot. Keeps you on the edge of your seat. Like Dangerous Remedy, I did not have a chance to breathe. Like, the action, I was like, what is gonna happen next? Like, Cat Dumb, what are you doing? Like, these are my children, please do not hurt my children. Like, I felt they were constantly in danger, just constantly. And like, the stakes, that should almost get a category on its own. Like, the stakes are so high. Like, these 4 kids basically have found Olymp, who has got enough power that whichever side of the revolution gets her will win the revolution. And like, the power that holds and the decisions they have to make with that power, like, the stakes are pretty damn high. Like, it's a whole country, like, it's a whole revolution, and like, that's hardcore. Like, there's a lot of betrayal. Like, in the second book, you just do not know who to trust. I was like, I'm usually good. I'm usually good at guessing when people are like double-crossing people, like when there's gonna be, you know, like betrayal, but like, honestly, with every reveal, I was like, no way. They're not being honest? Wait. They were being honest, they're pretending not to be honest, but actually they were, or like, they're on this side, but they're secretly on this side, but they're only pretending to be on this side because they're secretly on this side, but they're only pretending to secretly be on that side because they're secretly on this side because they're secretly on that side. You know, that makes absolutely zero sense, and I promise it's not that confusing, but I'm just saying, Cat Dunn knows how to make it interesting. Like, she keeps me on my toes. Like, the second book, like Monstrous Design, it's like a game of who's lying, and I loved it. We stan. I also think the fantasy elements were really cool. This is quite a, I feel like I haven't even mentioned that this is quite like a dark sci-fi like kind of theme, because like Olymp was experimented on, and like that's how she has these electrical powers. And like, in the second book, in Monstrous Design, they kind of try and revive a dead person, and they succeed. So we have a zombie situation in the second book, which is wild in the 18th century, and it's just like, it's just so cool. Like, it's so sciencey, but you can kind of believe that that would happen, even though you know it didn't happen. You're kind of like, oh, did they bring someone back to life? It's so cool. I really love the sci-fi fantasy element because it really does feel like it's rooted in reality, despite the fact it is obviously fictional and fantastical. But like, it does for a second make you think, I wonder if there was a zombie walking around in 18th century London. I wonder. Makes you think. Basically, you just don't know what Cat Dunn's going to do next. You don't know what's going to happen to the characters. I felt genuine fear and danger for the characters in both books, and yeah, it's just so gripping and engaging, and it's also political because we have the quandary of like who is on the right side of the revolution, like are the monarchists or are the revolutionaries, like who is on the right side of this revolution, and it's really not clear cut. So I think she does a really great job of exploring like who is the best of two evils, I guess. Which brings us on to point number 4, which is themes, and that just covers the fact that Cat Dunn just covers all topics. I've listed down revolution, family, friendship, morals, autonomy, what makes a monster, what makes one person better than the other, experimentation. We cover a lot of bases. There's a lot of like moral questions, like it gets a bit philosophic at times, not in a boring way, in like a good way, of like what makes a person and what makes someone a monster and what makes someone their own person. And it really discusses autonomy and the importance of being able to make your own choices, and that's something that they really delve into in the second book and was probably one of my favourite things about the second book. It's something I think about a lot and it's something that's very important to me, and I just think it was really cool like how she kind of weaved that into the plot, so it didn't like seem like she was just like asking some sort of philosophical question, but you know, a girl who's been experimented on and doesn't really have her own autonomy, and then she's kind of given the opportunity to make her own decisions, and how kind of intimidating that can be, especially when you haven't done it, and also how to come to terms with who you are and the fact that you're different, but that doesn't mean that you're a monster or that doesn't make you any less. And yeah, it just felt very oddly relevant considering it was about a girl with electrical powers during the French Revolution. It felt oddly relatable. But yeah, also like friendship and found family and what friendship means and the value of friendship and the importance of family and how family doesn't have to be blood, but it is hard when you have blood relations, and whether you can fully turn your back on family. And again, that's done really well and I think is really cool. It's also very feminist. We also talk about queerness, and again, that's just she manages to weave really important subjects into the plot so naturally. And again, I really enjoyed the exploration of Ada and her love for science, and also knowing that as a woman she will never really be able to reach her full potential and how difficult that is. And Camille also, I mean, it doesn't really have a name because, you know, it was the olden days, but she kind of has like problems with her lungs, and she kind of has to slow down a bit because she's not quite like as physically fit as the rest of them. She really struggles with that, and again, that was something that I really related to, of like wanting to keep up with other people and your body not allowing you to. So I thought that was a cool like bit thrown in there, that I just really liked. And then number 5, cliffhangers, because woman knows how to leave us on the edge of our seats. Like, guys, when you read Monstrous Design and you get to the end, and like 5 pages before the end you're thinking, you cannot end it here, like you can't do this to me, like how do you, like you can't do this to me. My basically my emotions were something like this. I was reading, I'm thinking, we've only got a few pages left. I'm thinking, no, you can't do this to me. No, this is not happening. No, 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 no. No, please say this isn't real. Please say this is not real. Please say this is not real. I don't want it to happen. I don't like it. You can't leave it here. There's a postscript. What the hell? What am I supposed to do with this information now? It was a roller coaster, okay? Dangerous Remedy ends on a cliffhanger, but then Monstrous Design ups the cliffhanger game to a new level. Like, I don't know what is going to happen in the third and final book, and I am scared. I am scared of Kat Dunn and her power. Like, she really played me. She really played me during the last, like, 30 pages. I was like every page I was like, no you, no you, no you. You're gonna die, you're lying, you're gonna die, you're lying. It was very stressful, but in the best way. And just like throughout the book, there's great cliffhangers that make you want to keep reading, but then the endings, like, you're gonna read Monstrous Design and be like, I can't wait a year for the third book, which is how I felt after finishing Dangerous Remedy. I was like, I read an e-arc of it and I was like, this book isn't even out in the world and I already want the second one. Hence why I begged Zephyr for an arc of this, because I was like, I need to read it and I need to read it now. Please give it to me. So yeah, that's the 5 reasons. 5/500 reasons. I mean, I kind of gave 5 like topics and then 500 reasons under those topics. There's an aeroplane going past, could you not, sir? Thank you. So yeah, if this hasn't convinced you to read this series, what are you doing with your life? It's fantasy, it's historical fiction, it's gay, it leaves you on the edge of your seat, it's got great characters, it's got found family, what hasn't this series got? That would be a quicker video. Why you shouldn't read this series, because there would be nothing on this list. There's no reason why you shouldn't pick this series up. So what are you waiting for? If you've read Dangerous Remedy, pick up Monstrous Design. If you haven't picked up either, pick up Dangerous Remedy and then immediately buy Monstrous Design. I mean, even if Zephyr hadn't asked me to make a video to celebrate the release of Monstrous Design, let's be honest, if we put together all the clips where I talk about Dangerous Remedy, I've basically already made a whole video on it. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. I feel like it was a bit of a hot mess. I get really excited, and also I'm just not that well. But you know what? When Monstrous Design comes calling, I answer that call. So yeah, hopefully my next video will either be my May wrap up, or it will be a video recommending new queer books for Pride. And here's an early recommendation. Read these, you're welcome. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Sorry if I was a bit all over the place. Read Monstrous Design. Enjoy my BT21 dress. By the way, if you're wondering, I do own Koya and Cookie in my bedroom, and yes, BTS is my life. Are they the reason I've only read 30 books this year? Probably. Am I actually learning Korean? Yes, I am, because I have a problem. Thank you for coming to my BTS-aholics Anonymous. Yeah, I've tried to end this video like 15 times. Izzy, what are you doing? Yeah, read these books. Hope you have a wonderful rest of the day. Ignore my hair. It's getting cut soon, so yeah. Sorry if this angle hasn't been great. I'm just glad the window's clean. I'm just glad the window cleaners didn't arrive, because they are due and I probably would have had a heart attack, so yay for getting my filming done in time. So yes, have a wonderful rest of the day and I will see you in my next video. Read Dangerous Remedy. Bye.